In the fall of 2020, the most unusual space music festival took place in one of the world's oldest radio astronomy observatories in Pushchina, a science campus in Russia. It was a unique event in the history of mankind. First and foremost, music is about harmony, harmony of notes. In space, there is no harmony that we know exists on Earth. Still, we can digitalize signals coming from space and transform them into music. It may look strange, but this music can be very interesting. It combines accidental sounds and also something that is coming from the object we are reading. For example, a pulsar emits regular signals and we can hear them. So this music has a cosmic sound too. But it is quite unusual compared to the music that we know. By the way, it's one of the 4 places on Earth where humanity receives signals from distant and mysterious pulsars. It all began when the computers were set up in a way that the bowl of the main telescope was pointed at the center of our galaxy in the direction of the constellation of Sagittarius. That was the beginning of the initiative launched by SpaceZ, a private space company. Olga Afanasieva, its president, is a phenomenal woman who is also a co-author of The Flame of the Millennium, a symbol of the third millennium. Space and music are big mysteries. The great Einstein was right when he said that the most beautiful thing that we can experience is a mysterious one. This mystery, long before all knowledge, science, and understanding of the space music, is already there in a child. The child is delighted with this mystery, this incomprehensible secret. We get into contact with it when we look into the boundless universe and our own boundless world. The idea of the unity of cosmic being can be found in various philosophical, cultural and historical teachings in ancient China, India and Sumer. The idea of the unity of macro and microcosmoses can also be found in ancient Greek texts by Pythagoras and Plato, and further throughout the history of philosophy and culture of the Eastern European tradition. Peter Vsevolodovich Theremin is a great-grandson of Leon Sergeyevich Theremin, a Russian inventor who created the Theremin Vox. His repertoire includes classical works, jazz and electronic music. In 1912, he set up a Theremin Vox studio and later Europe's only Theremin Vox school. He was among the musicians who represented Moscow in Mix the City, a project launched by the British Council. In September 2017, he played in the world's largest Theremin Vox ensembler, setting a world record, which was included in the Guinness World Records. 289 players played in Kobe in Japan. Peter Theremin is the winner of the International Film Festival Fathers and Sons in the category Film Music. He also won the silver medal of the British Award Creative Pool for the music score for the film The Lessons of Auschwitz. Peter Theremin is a winner of the International Cosmic Music Festival. This unique festival was organized in 2020 by the United Kingdom space company SpaceZ to mark the century of the Theremin Vox invention. Peter Theremin is one of the world's leading Theremin Vox players. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Theremin Vox, an electronic musical instrument created by Leon Theremin in 1919. The Theremin Vox is the only musical instrument that is played with movement of the hand in the air without touching the instrument. The Theremin Vox is often heard in the movies about space. Alexei Leonov, who was the first to go to outer cosmos, said that he heard the Theremin Vox in space, that space sounded like Theremin Vox. Rory called the Theremin Vox the music of spheres. Already in the 1920s, Leon Theremin himself gave concerts and became the first theremin vox performer. The theremin vox electric musical instrument is the first instrument of its type. It's a song-voice instrument on which the melody is played by the movement of the hand and fingers depending on the melody, without touching anything, by influencing solely the electromagnetic fields near the instrument. The first theremin vox created by Leon Theremin was a lamp-type instrument. It was like a modern transistor model, but the principle is the same. The closer the right hand is to the right antenna, the higher the sound. The further, the lower. The left hand is responsible for the volume. The closer it's to the instrument, the lower is the sound. The further, the higher the sound. The theremin vox is surrounded by an electric field. A person becomes part of it, and any movement instantly becomes a sound. Even if you move or take a deep breath, the sound changes immediately. So the theremin vox is one of the most sensitive instruments in the world. You can play a wide variety of music on it, including Moscow Nights. The name itself speaks for the instrument's sound. In Latin, vox means voice. The theremin vox owes its name to the correspondent of the Izvestia Daily. Its sound is very similar to the sound of the human voice. Undoubtedly, the theremin vox is an academic instrument, and in the 20th century many works were written for the theremin vox and the orchestra, for the theremin vox and the piano, for the theremin vox and the organ. The theremin vox is also the starting point of the history of the world's electronic music. The theremin vox paved the way for many inventions in the world, including the first electronic musical instruments created on the basis of the theremin vox. The theremin vox itself is quite common in electronic music. It is still a very unique way to create sound. Now we are going to hear space improvisation on the theremin vox. During 1950s, 1960s, the theremin vox often sounded in films devoted to space. It became one of the main voices of space. In 1947, a record called Music of the Moon was released, and some of its compositions really sounded in space. Astronaut Neil Armstrong liked that record very much. Astronauts were allowed to take several records to space to which they listened in headphones. Neil Armstrong chose the theremin vox music. The theremin vox sounds in the film The Big Space Travel, with music written by Alexei Rybnikov. It also sounds in the film The Day the Earth Stood Still, with music written by Bernard Herrmann. You can also hear the instrument in performances by Jean-Michel Jarre, a big admirer of the instrument. He truly loves the theremin vox, and he called Leon Theremin Stradivari among electronic engineers. anthem of good deeds was handed over to Director General of UNESCO on the 4th of November in 2017. Although the theremin vox is 100 years old, it is still one of the most promising and relevant musical instruments. It is probably the only invention which, even after a century, is referred as the music of the future. Today there are two theremin vox schools in the world. One is led by the family. It is in Russia. The other is in Japan. The theremin vox always attracts interest among musicians and listeners in different parts of the world. Olga Afanasieva is a co-author of The Flame of the Millennium, a symbol of the third millennium. It is the fire of the preservation of human civilization. Also, she is the author of the Cosmic's Music Message and founder and head of the UK private space company SpaceZ. Since 2020, she has been the initiator of international science and image programs supported by UNESCO and personally by the former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. She participated in the marathon of the Fire of the Preservation of Human Civilization, which is an analogue of the Olympic flame, on the route America, Europe, Asia, Australia. She was awarded the Millennium Order for her contribution to the implementation of the program towards the 21st century under the auspice of the UN. Afanasieva is the initiator of the new area of the program Network for Everybody. She also received the Peace and Prosperity Award created by Mahatma Gandhi, which is an analogue of the Nobel Peace Prize. She received the award for her significant contribution to the global women's movement and international space development programs. She received the award for her significant contribution to the global women's movement and international space development programs. She is the holder of the Order Bricks for her report at the 62nd Women's Session of the 72nd UN General Assembly in New York in 2018. The Cosmic Women's Message was made public at the 62nd Women's Session of the 72nd UN General Assembly. It called to bring together women to preserve human civilization. What does the Cosmic Women Message have to do with women, and what do women have to do with space? Well, we all know that space is our cradle. It is the cradle of our planet, and our planet is the cradle of the whole humanity. Before astronauts fly into space, they ask people, including the youth, to take care of our planet, because from the window of the spacecraft and the International Space Station, before astronauts fly into space, they ask people, including the youth, to take care of our planet. Before astronauts fly into space, they encourage people to take care of our planet. Before astronauts fly into space, they ask people, including the youth, to take care of our planet, because from the window of the spacecraft and the International Space Station, the Earth looks fragile and unprotected. It is surrounded by a vast aggressive cosmos, but it only seems aggressive, because it's difficult for us to survive there. In fact, it is beautiful and life-giving. Why women? Because genetically women give birth to life and are responsible to preserve life. One of the projects run by SpaceZ is the International Cosmic Music Festival. Why cosmic? Why music? We know that around us there are magnetic, electric and musical waves, and they all have impact on us. Who doesn't know Mark Snow and the X-Files with mysterious cosmic music, where everybody is trying to move to another reality and understand where the truth is? And the truth is somewhere near. Who doesn't know Sarah Brightman? With her cosmic voice, she takes us into distant spaces and distant worlds. Enchanting music by Jean Shajar. With his show, he takes us into fantasy galaxies. In 1977, the Voyager Golden Record was sent into space, containing musical selections including Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Stravinsky. I think Stravinsky music is the closest one to the reproduction of space music as possible. The record also included throat-singing, Georgian choral songs and ethnic songs of people of Guinea. The next message sent into space was from children. In 2008, Alexander Zaitsev collected songs which had been selected by children. It was a message from teenagers, which also contained music. A special cosmic prize to people who made contribution to the next century from 1920 to 2020. The music festival was dedicated to the 100th anniversary of the cosmic music instrument, the theremin box. As a result of the festival, 31 winners in each of 3 categories were selected. Due to the restrictions introduced as a result of the global COVID-19 pandemic, the festival's expert panel selected the winners on the basis of their contribution to the world music culture and development of cosmic music. The most famous works of the winners will be sent into space in digital format by nano satellites. It all began long ago. The idea to create a symbol of the preservation of human civilization was born in 1996. Later, the concept was implemented in the form of various events. On the 1st of January in 2000, flame of the third millennium was ignited. It was lit virtually because the ground in Antarctica is very fragile. It is the only place where there is probably an understanding of the purity of human existence. The flame was lit there because there are no state borders in Antarctica. This land belongs to all Earthlings. The flame was lit from 31 virtual stars. All those stars, in one way or another, impacted or had a sacred influence on the development of human civilization. The flame was approved by representatives of various confessions. We carried it running across all continents. The flame is a symbol of peace, hope, and peace preservation. I think many problems that we have today were caused by new goals that we set and lack of understanding that our planet is our common cradle. It is the only place where all of us will have to live for quite a long time. Consequently, there should be an order on space. People should interact with each other on the basis of principles of peace, friendship, and mutual understanding. I said that Earth is our cradle. We understand that our planet is related to space. It is part of space. There are good reasons why we are at the Space Observatory. It connects us with cosmos. It helps us to understand that we should live in harmony with cosmos. Well, I have said the word harmony. When people hear this word, first and foremost they relate to music. That is why it's a music festival. But at the same time it's a cosmic festival. There are no formal winning performances in the festival. As part of the festival, we introduce several awards. One of them goes to the people who have made significant contribution to harmonizing this world in the course of 100 years. 31 persons are like 31 stars, from which the flame of the millennium was lit. Another 31 participants are those who, as we see it, have much to do with cosmic music. Another prize goes to 31 musicians who play the unique instrument, the theremin box. It was invented in 1920. In 2020, it marked its 100th anniversary. It is a cosmic instrument because it's played without touching any of its parts. It's played by radio waves. So the Cosmic Music Festival is dedicated to the century of the invention of this cosmic instrument. The 31 musicians that I've mentioned are virtuosi on the theremin box.